Hello friends, welcome to another Wednesday Quickie. If you've been here before but you have not subscribed, it will be of great help to us if you do subscribe. And also click the notification bell so you will know every time we post a new video, which is midweek, usually on Wednesdays and on the weekends. Today we're going to show you how to build the jig. So stick around to see how we build this jig. And if you also happen to have a cobalt saw, this is going to be even more useful for you, because for the cobalt saw, there is a modification you need to make that is not necessary in other type of saws. So stick around and you will see how we did the jig. Okay, having made the original... Unfortunately, I lost some footage here. You start by picking a very straight piece from your scrap, and that will become the backbone of here. Then you run it through your dado blade, and that will set the width that you need to make your jig. It is that simple. Cut here. We need a key, and we're going to make a key out of this piece of hardwood, which is slightly thicker than we need it. So we're going to use the the joiner to try and make it the correct size. And we don't want to overdo it, so I start with a very small amount of removing material, and we're going to see how that goes. You can also use a sander in order to achieve the same result. You do not need a joiner. However, a joiner makes it a little faster and a little easier. It will take you longer to do it with a sander, but the result will be identical. If you use the sander, start with a low grit like a 60 or an 80 to get very good results rather quickly. And this is truly a patience thing. We have to do it over and over until we find the right thickness. So we're going to repeat this process. This process is the same with a sander or even a hand plane. You remove a little bit and you check, and then you remove a little bit and you check until you get to the right thickness. If you take too much, you have to start over again, regardless of the methods you utilize. So patience is the key here. Do not remove too much material at one pass, but be patient and you're going to get excellent results. I think maybe I need to take a little more at each pass. And we don't have to sew. I mean, this is boring, so we don't have to sew all of it. Yes.
Would it be safer to use that thing right there?
It would, but it will give me less control. Always take safety very seriously. This machine can be very dangerous. I feel comfortable. I know the machine. I've used it for many years, and I feel comfortable doing what I'm doing. However, it is much safer using some equipment to prevent yourself from injury, especially if something slips. You're going to get very seriously injured. Never do things you don't feel safe doing. We're getting there. I don't know if it is visible or not.
Yeah. You're close.
And for some reason this has moved, so it leaves a little lip here. It shouldn't. Here, if you worry about safety, I'll use this. Does that make you feel better? Again, a push stick is always a good idea, and never do things you are not safe. This is a very good, effective push stick with a nice grippy bottom that allows me to do what I was doing before in the arguably safer way. So do whatever you're comfortable with. Do not follow what a YouTuber tells you or what a YouTuber does. It is your fingers, it is your safety. I hope I didn't take too long now. I think it might have just taken too much now. Alright folks, we're going to continue this process until we find the exact fit we want, and we'll be right back. Did you press the record? Okay, unfortunately we went a little too far, and on this you need it to be snug. So we went a little too far, and this is now a little too small for what we wanted. So we took another piece of hardwood, and we're going to do the same process. We're not going to object to you in watching this, but using the same method, hopefully we'll get to dial it exactly where we want it. After several passes that took I don't know how to say, not a lot of time, but took some time, right? We have what we think is the perfect fit here. This now sits here snugly without falling. We are going to glue this and cut a small piece for a spacer, and we're going to be right back with you. All right, and now we're going to put some glue here. So we'll put glue here. You think, no, that's not it, this is it, right? We will have to clean and squeeze out. And we will. Wait, let me grab some. And now we're going to make sure that this is flush.
Not quite. Almost.
What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean. Okay, we need to clean the glue up, but
Lots.
at the what will be the bottom of the jig, it makes no difference that it is, if it is flush or not in this dimension or any else, but it has to be flush in this dimension. And the next step is we're going to cut a small sliver from this, and we'll be right with you. One of the design problems we're facing with the cobalt miter is that while it has a way to attach a board with screws, it's almost like the hanging type that you find behind some pictures and other fixtures, right? And what we need is something that goes through, so we can go from here and attach our jig to this semi-permanently, but also allow us to move it so we can make jigs with different openings, different sizes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from the back and we are going to make a hole that our screws can go through. So let us do that and we'll be right with you. This is a simple matter of getting a drill bit that's for metal, going from the back side. This process will work for every miter gauge for any saw that does not have through holes, not just for the cobalt. So I think it's a useful thing to solve. And now we have two perfect holes to attach our jig when it is time to do that. Right, is that visible?
Yep.
Okay, so here's the piece that will attach to our cobalt modified miter, and this is our spacer. Since I really love keeping pieces of wood, even little ones, I need to mark this to say that this is our spacer, right? So I'm going to write that this is our 3/8 spacer. And now we're going to go on the saw and complete the jig. So here we are at our saw. We have our 3/8 blade and our 3/8 spacer and our 3/8 finger. And we are going to put the spacer and the finger together. Other than the width of the finger and the spacer, the process is identical to make as many jigs you want with as many different widths for all your needs. And now we have our screws, and we are going to attach this piece of wood to our... Take care here, especially in the first screw, that your spacer is tight against your blade and tight against the figure of your jig. This is critical if the jig is going to work correctly. Once you have the first screw secured, then you're set. The second screw just makes it more permanent. And again, be very careful. This is a critical component. And as you can see here, Mrs. DIY was helping me to make sure it didn't move. A second set of eyes is very beneficial here. So use whoever help you have available. And this is a completely jig, as you can see. And I'm going to make another one, or how many I need for the correct blade, and I will write probably on this one 3/8 too. So we know that this is the 3/8 blade. And you see we have 3/8 on the blade, on the plate here, 3/8 on the spacer,
Yep.
and 3/8 on the jig. So
Now match.
this completes the jig build. So if you have a cobalt saw, you have to do this extra space. If you have a saw that you have a through hole on both parts, then you don't have to drill the holes on your miter. But again, if you have a cobalt, this is a necessary step. Well, friends, we reached the end of another Wednesday Quickie. And here is our end result. We have...
It's sticking out.
It's sticking out, yeah, the finger is sticking out. And again, if you have a cobalt saw, remember you have to make this small modification right here, right?
Yep.
Which, as you saw, it's not really difficult. It's just, you know, might make some people nervous, but it's okay. You will survive. You can do this. We have all the faith in the world in you. And, of course, this is for our 3/8 blade. We're going to make another one for our 1/4 blade. And as we use our dado kit, we're going to have to make different jigs for all sides of dados, which means all sides of finger joints we're going to make, of box joints we're going to make.
So it's useful for multiple projects.
Well, yes, this is good for multiple projects, but only for 3/8. You cannot use it for other sizes. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. We definitely enjoyed making it for you. And if you did, please smash that like button. If you didn't, smash the other button twice. Share, like, subscribe, and comment. And we appreciate your support. So thank you from all of us here at the Urban Homesteading channel. And we want to wish you a great week. We're going to see you again soon.